Hi friends, I am going to discuss about the topic taxonomy. Before going to taxonomy, we look into what is systematics. Systematics is derived from a Latinized Greek word systema, which denotes the system of classification. It is formulated by early, notably naturalist called Linnaeus. It is the study of kinds, diversity, and interrelationships of organisms. In other words, it is the study of diversity and natural relationships of organisms. Disciplines of systematics include, we already know, systematics is the broad and basic branch of biological science. It encompasses six basic components as its disciplines, namely description, identification, phylogenetics, classification, nomenclature, taxonomy. First one is description. Listening of inherent listing of inherent features or attributes of organism for identifying and classifying them. Second one is identification. Identification is the assignment of correct group or taxon for a particular organism in a system of classification. It is the process of finding out correct known or unknown taxon or determining the exact systematic position or rank. It is based on deductive reasoning. It always take account single organism, not group of organism. Next one is phylogenetics. It is a study of phylogeny of organisms. Phylogeny is the evolutionary relationship between and within taxonomic levels. The fourth one is classification. It is the ordering of organisms based on their morphological, anatomical, physiological, genetical, biochemical, and other similarities of phylogeny and other interrelationships. In this process, putting organisms into definite groups and then into systems of such groups based on characteristics of the organisms. These groups specifically then by nomenclature. The next is our topic taxonomy. It is a theoretical study of classification, including its basis, principles, procedures, and rules. Besides, it is a study of theory, practice, and rules of the classification of living and extinct organisms. So, generally, taxonomy is the theoretical foundation of classification. It is first proposed in 1830 by Blake Angeli in plant classification. Later, it adapted for animal classification too. The last discipline of systematics is nomenclature, which is the scientific naming of taxonomic groups or taxa. 10th edition of Systema Naturae by Linnaeus in 1758 marked the birth of modern system of biological nomenclature. Usually we use binomial nomenclature, which is proposed by Linnaeus, which has two parts in a name, a genus name and a species name. Species name followed by genus name. There is classical and new systematics. Current system follows new systematics. New systematics is follow to a few trends. It includes morphological approach, ecological approach, cytological approach, biochemical approach, and molecular taxonomy. Morphological approach includes observable morphological features taken as criteria for classification. For example, uh, phenotypic features. And when we come to the ecological approach, ecological aspects such as ecological niche. Ecological niche means sum total of food relations, nutritional total, and tolerance, etc. These are the ecological niches. So ecological approach uh, uh, consists of the ecological aspects such as ecological niche. Cytological approach includes cytological aspects such as karyotype or chromosomal complement and DNA content of the cells are very valuable in taxonomy. The fourth approach is the biochemical approach. The biochemical studies such as enzymology, histochemistry, etc. are very important in nowadays. The least influenced by the environmental factors. It is the reason why we use biochemical approach. For example, when we take to phylogenetic classification, there is a stage rRNA. It undergoes very low mutation or low variations. So we can understand the ancestry or phylogeny of that particular organism. And a biochemical approach, it also helps to reveal genetic similarity and divergence. It enables segregation or detection of species based on the different biochemical characteristics. When we come to molecular taxonomy, it is a recently emerged branch based on the molecular structure, amino acid sequences, proteins, nucleotide sequences, etc. are considered in the molecular taxonomy. When we come to the topic taxonomy, the term taxonomy is derived from the two Greek words. Taxis means arrangement and nomos means law. Epide Candolle was a Swiss botanist and he coined the term taxonomy. He also proposed a natural method to classify plants and also was one of the first people to distinguish between the morphological and physiological characteristics of organs in plants. Taxonomy, when we define taxonomy, taxonomy is the theoretical study of classification, including its basis, principles, procedures, and rules. According to Mayer in 1982, he said that taxonomy is the theory and practice of classifying organisms. It is an information system consisting of classification, nomenclature, description, and identification. According to Christopher Sun in 1995, he said that taxonomy has become the most basic activity in biology, dealing exclusively with the discovery, ordering, and communication of patterns of biological taxa. It, however, leans heavily on systematics for its concepts. Taxonomy's first father was the philosopher Aristotle, sometimes also called the father of science. Aristotle first introduced the key concept of taxonomy. He classified based on the blood type, whether they are red-blooded or non-red. Red-blooded, like that, they are moving or not moving. Based on like that, he introduced the basic classification or the concept of classification. He did not fact propose a formal scheme of classification, but only formulated a basic concept that organisms may be characterized according to their way of living, actions, habits, and body parts. He also suggested the idea of arranging organisms in a single graded scheme called a scala naturae, according to their degree of perfection. Andrea Cisalpine was an Italian physician. He wrote a series of works titled on plants in italics day plants, detailing in his system of classification, classifying plants based on the structure, fruits and seeds influence subsequent scientists such as Linnaeus. Later, Carl Linnaeus was regarded now as the father of taxonomy, as he developed a system for categorization of organism and binomial nomenclature. He introduced two kingdom classification and binomial nomenclature for naming organisms. If Linnaeus is now considered as the father of taxonomy, it's because his success rested on the work of his predecessors. He was the first in his Systema Naturae to combine a hierarchical system of classification of kingdom to species with the method of binomial nomenclature, and using it consequently identify every species of both plants and animals then known to him. His works such as Systema Naturae, Species Plantarum, Systema Naturae were the most famous and revolutionized in the taxonomy field. His works include um, introducing a binomial naming system that leads to organized and standard animal plants and species taxonomy. When we come to the taxonomy hierarchy, it is also introduced by Linnaeus. The process of placing or grouping organisms in different taxonomic groups is known as taxonomic hierarchy. When we come to the term taxon is a uh, group of organism or a organism put into a group. That particular groups name is called taxon. Phylum, class, these are the taxons. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, these are the class in the uh, two kingdom classification. So uh, taxonomic hierarchy uh, is the arrangement of these taxonomic groups, uh, or the process of placing or grouping organism in different taxonomic group is known as the taxonomic hierarchy. These levels formed a structure similar to the ladder of pyramid. The organisms are grouped in ascending to the descending classification order and vice versa. The highest level is considered to be domain and the least one as species. When we come to the taxonomic ranks, the levels as mentioned earlier, biological classification, are also called a taxonomic rank. Each rank leads to the taxonomic ranks either in an upward direction or downward. In the next section, we will go through the taxonomic ranks in biological scientific classification, building the taxonomic hierarchy. When we come to the taxonomic ranks, there is domain, kingdom, uh, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. When we look into an overview, the domain is the highest level, constitute three domains of life. Domains, there are three domains. They are bacteria, archaea, eukarya, and kingdom consists of monera, bacteria, archaea, protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. Phylum is under the kingdom, which is a group of related classes. Classes are a group of related orders. Orders are a group of related families. Families are a group of related genera. Genus are a group of related species, and species a group of similar domains. Here, domain is the largest and species is the smallest group or taxon. When we come to the levels of taxonomy, there is alpha, beta, and gamma. Alpha taxonomy is the analytic phase in which the species are identified, characterized, and named. At this level, when a new species is discovered, it is named in accordance with the lineage system of binomial nomenclature. Here, priority is given to one who publishes his works first. All problems relating to species are dealt here. And in beta taxonomy refers to the arrangement of species into a natural system of hierarchical categories. This is done on the basis of easily observable shared structural features and evaluation of numerous characters. Thus, beta taxonomy relates to the search of a natural system of classification. Each taxon would thus possess a diagnostic features unique to the taxon. Gamma taxonomy includes which designates the analysis of intraspecific variation and evolutionary studies. Much attention is paid to the casual interpretation of organic diversity, study of speciation, but in actual practice it is rather uh, difficult to dissociate them because these overlap and integrate. These are only few groups of animals, some vertebrate, especially the birds, and a few insects, orders like Lepidoptera, etc., where the taxonomy has reached up to gamma level. Otherwise, in almost majority of the groups, the work still at the alpha and beta level. Mainly, the taxonomy works in alpha and beta. Extreme rare cases uh, such as Lepidoptera came into gamma taxonomy. Here are the references.